Hello everyone. In this video I thought we would come back up here towards the front where I skipped 2 or 3 pages as I started making stuff, and I have decided, it's the back side of that first layout that we did, and I have decided that I really enjoy flipping through the pages as we're doing them. And so every time I do a new layout, I'm like flipping through the other layouts that we did, and I find that I kind of like going in order rather than skipping all over the book and then having to go back and finish things. Just my own particular observation there. And you can of course do any of the things I'm doing in here on just a sheet of watercolor paper or a piece of raw canvas if I'm painting a canvas, or you can paint on a canvas that's already mounted on its wood straights. You could just do any of these ideas on anything you're painting on, or a regular watercolor journal would be fine too. So I don't think these Dina Wakley journals, I don't think you can get them anymore because now they're all sold out. I think there were some available until I started doing this series, and then whatever was left is gone. And somebody mentioned that maybe they're working on a new one. I hope they are, because I'm going to buy a couple if they do put out a new one that's interesting, and then we can all do these together with a book that's not been out for a couple years already. But I got to ride my inspiration where it is. That's why I'm doing this at the tail end of whenever it was put out. But I love it. It's fun. I want a whole book of abstract art. I want to have something to flip through and be proud of something that I finished in book form like this. I see other artists with their finished art journals and I'm kind of jealous. So what I'm doing is I've got a watercolor and canvas page. I'm just putting clear gesso on the canvas side so that we contain the paint mostly on the one side and give it a surface, because this is raw canvas. It's not already primed. And if you get a primed canvas that you buy at the art store, it's already got those gesso layers on it for you, so you didn't have to prime it. Otherwise, it's just a piece of fabric that stuff soaks down into kind of weirdly. All right, let's just put that into some water. So I'm going to have to let this side dry, and then I'm going to paint on this little double spread, because the few double spreads that we've already done where it's a watercolor canvas have been some of my favorite. So I'm looking excited. I'm kind of looking forward to this. So let's let this dry, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I got an idea that may or may not work out. I have an older stencil that looks like a wing, and it's Stencil Girl. Does it have a name on it? Let's see if it has a name on it inside. I mean, it could be like that old that it doesn't even have a name on it. So, says Pam Carricker, designed by Pam Carricker. It may not be a current Stencil Girl stencil anymore. That's how old this stencil is. But it's in my thing of stencils, and I'm almost thinking that we could do a wing on one side and do a wing on the other side, and I just think it would be pretty underneath with some color and stuff underneath. So I'm going to paint an abstract piece and maybe a wing on top, and we may like it, we may not, and that may be available and it may not, but we're just gonna do what we can. And you can search wing stencils on Etsy, because I know I've found some on there before, and I may do that stencil with paint, and I may do it with molding paste, so I don't know. I have pulled it out as my just in case, and I'm gonna put out some white gesso by Liquitex because I like using it as my white paint, but I also like using it to spread paint. And I'm also going to put out some clear gesso by Liquitex because I like mixing it with the paint because it makes the paint gritty and more spreadable. And we are just going to see what we can create today. Let's just see what messes we can get into.
And I kind of want to draw a little bit on the, this is almost dry, but I think I'm going to take my Lyra water soluble graphite 6B, which is just like using a 6B pencil really, but it's a little bit bigger surface to maybe help you let loose a little bit, because it's not like a little pencil that you're holding. But I'm just gonna draw on both of these. We may not see it at all, but it's kind of fun to just get past our blankness here and mess it up, and then we're not scared to mess it up because it's messed up. And just come in here and just do whatever your favorite marks are, or experiment with marks, or just play and just see like what can you create. I'm not trying to get anywhere specific. You may not see any of it at all, but it is kind of fun when something peeks through. So just in case something peeks through, we're gonna have some options underneath. Okay, I like it. Now, I was so inspired by that piece that I painted that I didn't film. I just love this. Let me go find it real quick. I tried to film it, but this piece right here, I'm so inspired. Really, I could have just came over here and put the wing on this. What if we do that? What if this is the wing page? I mean, we could even have the wing kind of come off. I don't know. I love it. Let's just do it with this page though, because that's what I haven't painted yet, and I haven't already messed this up. I filmed that whole, I painted that whole thing, and I was like, oh no, my camera wasn't going. Okay, I'm gonna get crazy with the colors here, because I'm also kind of inspired by one of the other paintings we did that kind of had these colors. What painting was that? This one. This might be my favorite painting in the whole book. And I've kind of pulled out similar colors. I've got red, I've got orange, I've got yellow, and I've got the blue, so it's kind of similar but different. So I'm not duplicating it, but it is similar. See how we can see some of my marks from underneath shining through? So now we're going to do something similar but different. I've got my little Princeton Umbria brush here, and I think I'm going to mix this with a little bit of gesso, and we're just going to get started. Not doing anything specific here. I'm just laying down paint, getting my initial layers down. I tend to like to start in the corner. That's why you see me do that a lot. And then work my way towards the center, just composition wise. That is just the habit that I've gotten myself into. And it just tends to work for me. So like a lot of times you just see me start in the corners and work towards that. And that's kind of why. It's just my own little habit. And I'm going to try today to paint both surfaces at the same time rather than one surface and then the other, because that works out really good. And I've got deli paper down, so I'm protecting the surfaces on the other side of these. Ooh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Let's get some white gesso in here and get that color changing. See, I just love, this is my favorite painting tool lately, you guys. I mean, this is going to be the thing I'm obsessed with for the next several months until I decide on the next favorite painting something. Oh, love it. Why did I pack this away in a box for so long? It's been sitting in the box with my oil paints, because I kind of go in phases when I want to work with oil paints, and I have plenty of oil paints, I'm sure that you can imagine, along with plenty of these other supplies. You can imagine if I have this many watercolors and gouaches and acrylic paints and what have you, you know I got the same quantity in oil paints, but I kind of go through the phases on if I want to get those out and be messy and paint with the oils or not. So they're not always conveniently out of the closet. They're kind of put away. Ooh, look at that. I'm already enjoying this. All right, let's go get some of this red. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, now I feel like I need a bull clip because we are just all over the place here with this piece of canvas that's already shrinking. Look at that, it's already shrinking. They shrink, we've noticed, they shrink with the paint on them. And I can just almost like see it shrinking in real time, because look at there, I mean this other page is already out here, so we've already shrunk 1/2 inch just putting the gesso on it. How interesting is that? So you can definitely tell it's a raw canvas if we're already shrinking down to like 1 inch. It shrinks like 1 inch or so. That's what it seems to be. Ooh, don't throw that on myself. That's exactly something I would do. Throw it down on myself, because isn't that what a painter does? You paint yourself. Like all your clothes have a little bit of paint on them somewhere, you know. Now what I don't want to do is have lines where I've used this, so I need to be cognizant of that. Don't create a bunch of vertical lines where you've stopped and started your use of this tool. Okay, so this yellow was really kind of a vivid ochre kind of color, but with these colors still in my paintbrush and a little bit of white, it's turned into the most lovely colors of yellow and like peachy tones that are kind of blending, and I love that now. I was kind of like, is that yellow too strong? But I don't think so, now that I've got it to softly blend in with some of these colors that I've already got in my paintbrush, because I did not change the brush, and I love it. I love it. This side is getting to be so pretty. Let's just grab some more of that, and I'm not even going to clean the brush. Look at there, way too much paint. All right, and I also need some white gesso again. Let's pull that down. Let's not get it all over the paintbrush. There we go. Ooh, as we knock it all down, look at that, totally jinxed myself. Okay, I think we're set. All right, now that we've done this, kind of loving it without, like I'm kind of thinking a stencil on top instead of, not the wing, like a different stencil. And now I'm almost feeling like maybe that blue page could be finished with that stencil. Oh, I love this so much, but I'm kind of feeling like we could mark make on top or do a different stencil possibly. Choices, choices, choices. Which way do we want to go? Man, look at this. This is super fun. Because you know that one green page that we did with that yummy stencil kind of coming in from the side? I loved that so much that I'm kind of feeling like that might be where I've decided to go now, because I could pick out one of these colors to be the stencil, or I could pick something that'll contrast a little bit but still be interesting. Oh, you guys, where do we, I feel like I want the wings on that blue one. I do, I feel like I want them on the blue one. Okay, what else do we got over here while we're letting this dry? I've got all my little stencils hanging over here. They all just kind of hang on each other, just like that. Hang on a knob on my dresser. Man, let me tell you, best storage decision. Look at this one. Oh, maybe we should totally do one of these klimt ones on there. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. That was getting exciting. Let me take the little hanger off so that we can look at these. Look at this one. I'm feeling like this one, and we could do gold on top of there. Oh, I totally got excited. And I love this one, but I love that one more. I got several klimt ones because you know I love klimt. And that's that one that we did on that little triplet that we painted. I'm thinking this right here. Maybe in a gold. Totally just got super excited about this. This is a Mirror Mirror by Joggles. Joggles.com. And it may not be a klimt, but I bought it at the same time that I bought a bunch of klimt stuff, and it looks like a klimt stencil. So in my mind, it's a klimt stencil. Oh, Elizabeth St. Hillary design. So that's the lady that makes the klimt stencils, but I'm kind of feeling like we could totally do that. Oh, I just got so excited about this. Okay, so I'm going to use a gold that I've been using in the sketchbook, and we will finish off the other page with that wing one. All right, here we go. Let me grab a gold, and I'm gonna let these dry, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're mostly dry. We'll call it mostly dry. I think what I'm gonna do, we'll just hope our stencil don't stick to it completely. I think what I'm gonna do is start over here and maybe just work my way through some of it. It doesn't have to cover the whole thing or go to the bottom. It can just kind of come out here and then come out here, and then we could have this just painted. It doesn't have to like continue. What do you think about that? I'm kind of feeling it. And so I might I could either do this with a brush or I could do it with my sponge. I'm kind of thinking sponge. Sponge uses a little more paint, but it is faster. So let's just do this. I'm using the iridescent gold deep fine, and just in case I didn't tell you these colors, I was using orange deep, yellow oxide, deep red, and sage blue, and white gesso. And look at all those colors that we got out of there. I'm just going to put a whole bunch of this down, and I'm using the iridescent gold deep fine in the golden heavy bodied paint. And I'm going to get a dry sponge, just a little art sponge. You can do these with whatever it is that you like to stencil with. There's no right or wrong way to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and go into the edge even, because I want it to just kind of cover some of this pretty good. Oh, I'm already feeling so good about this. Oh my gosh. Man, let me tell you, I started out with a very specific vision. I even talked you through it. And by the end, we had completely changed our mind. So what I might do is a short video with the blue one. Slip it right in after this with the wings so that I don't leave you hanging with the wings. Oh my gosh. And then we'll just have to decide, like, how far do we want to go? How far do we want to take this gold? I love the gold. I never used gold before making YouTube videos and studying klimt, and I don't know why all of a sudden, I'll tell you what it is. The Sketchbox sent me this Kuretake gold mica paste, and this stuff started my obsession with the gold. So that came in the monthly sketch box. It might have been the holiday box a couple years ago, maybe like 3 years ago, because they get some of the coolest stuff in those holiday boxes. And I got that, and I was all of a sudden completely obsessed with gold, because it was the most amazing gold I've ever seen. I mean, it was like real gold on your pieces. It was so amazing. And ever since then, I've been like, I love gold. I feel like that right there keeps just looking pink. Is that just me? Might be the angle I'm sitting at. Yeah. So we'll blame Sketchbox.
for my gold love now, because that gold right there kind of started it. And then I'm like, oh, let's just collect all the golds. And so I do have a gold video, if you go check on my channels on my video, of all the different golds that I have kind of swatched out, so you can be like, oh, I like this gold or I like that gold. You can kind of pick some other golds, because that Kiritaki one, sometimes it's a real good price on sale and sometimes it's not on sale. So okay, how far down? I kind of feeling like I want to, like it's raining down gold. It's definitely, I feel like it's definitely a Klimt stencil too, because it's got the swirls. She makes a bunch of really cool Klimt stencils in this collection. All right, what if we stop it right there? And then we can do the same thing over here. And then, I should have started over there. I'm the worst for going backwards. Okay, let's see what we got. Whoa! Look how cool that is. That's a little bit of yumminess right there. Oh my gosh. All right, let's just lay this one down. We get it just about as straight as we can. There we go. All right. That is insanely beautiful. Like, totally just made my day. Okay, we're just about to get gold on our fingers. Who cares? Let's just ride down the edge here. Oh my gosh. That is insane how beautiful that is right there. And you know, I had that clear vision I was going to do, and I even explained it all to you, and it's amazing how when you're creating and all of a sudden a new idea comes to you, don't be afraid to completely pivot. Whatever the idea that you thought you were going to do, don't be afraid to pivot to whatever is truly inspiring you as you're going. Because look how much happier I am now that we did that. Okay, let's put a little more paint out. Like, for reals. I'm not sure it even gets more beautiful than that. Oh, I love it so much. So beautiful. Good paint day. Oh my gosh. I do like telling you the ideas as I get them though, and then you can be like, wait a minute, you didn't go there? Or how did I get from that idea to where we are now? Oh, all right, let me just finish golden up this side here. All right, what do you think? Are we there? Ooh, drum roll, drum roll. Let me just make sure I got, all right, drum roll, here we go. Let's pull it up. Whoa, look at that. Oh my gosh, you guys. And I love that it's not perfectly even, that it's kind of going in some different directions. We could put the stencil back on and continue going if it's something that you needed to continue going. But I don't know. I'm kind of loving it where it's at. You could also come back in here with marks and dots if you wanted to kind of come in between the stenciling. And I've done that before on some where I've dotted in between. But I don't know. I'm kind of loving that like it is. So for today, this could just be finished. And I am loving where we ended up. So I hope you loved playing in these pages today. The completely abrupt shift of direction that we took. I will film the wing one for us on a short video probably, because won't take a long video, just add a wing to those blue pages, but I hate to skip out on it since I've already thought about it. These are gorgeous today. Hope you had fun painting with me today. Can't wait to see what you guys create. This is that yummy Joggles stencil. If you haven't been on Joggles, definitely check those out. I'll link that below the video for you. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.